It is Super Week. We have got a whole lot of Counter-Strike for you here at the Intel Arena. This is the ESL Pro League, and my God, have we got an awful lot to talk about. The game's coming up today here for what should be, and will shape up to be, one crazy week of Counter-Strike to lock in some of those standings. Your games for now, though, we'll bring them up. This is what we're going to be diving in today. We have a French affair to start us off. As you can see, we're going to be seeing, we will see EnVy versus G2 to start us off. You can see how they are placed currently. Not great. The French at the bottom of the table, 11th and 12th respectively. And we have Fnatic taking on the Ninjas. More of a Swedish affair. Still two domestic rivalries. One at the top, one middle of the pack for the Ninjas. That's how we'll be starting our day. And for Super Week, we have some Supermen standing by us here on the panel. We have the ever-lovely Serbian superhero. It is, of course, Janko Wanke Paunovic. And we have the down-under dastardly demon. It's none other than Chad Spongebirch.
Am I the villain?
I had to paint you as the villain.
He already has his superhero nickname. He's the Golden Boy.
Ah, it doesn't sound... Yeah,
What's my superpower?
You get weed on a lot.
You do everything done for ESL.
Yeah.
Get everything done.
He gets it all done. He really
He's
does.
the go-to guy.
Well, I've already done it once, but I'm going to get it done again by bringing those standings up one more time so you can hear what our superheroes have to say about where we're at and where we're going to end up after this Super Week. 6 days of play, Chad. Surely a lot's going to be shifting.
I still can't believe that Na'Vi and Mouse Sports are down the bottom of the standings this deep into the play. You know, 15 days. Well, this is the 15th day, but that's just crazy that they're at the bottom. I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking, you know, Heroic, Hellraisers, those guys would be further down. Still a lot of play to happen, but that's the big standouts for me.
You can also see Astralis towards the bottom end of the table. Now, that's because they haven't really played that many games, but they will play every single day in this Super Week. So this is obviously a huge week for Astralis. If they can get a couple of wins on the board, they might secure a spot for themselves for the playoffs.
Just quickly, the further we go into this tournament, as we get down to that last week, people need to start paying more attention to the overtime win-loss column there, because that changes the way that the points get distributed. So that's going to become more and more important as the days go on.
Keep our eyes on that, none of which are next to the name known as EnVy. In fact, they have the most. 1 win, 1 loss in that overtime column that you're referencing. And now actually talking of EnVy, a bit of a mystery, because we did just catch some of their qualification games for Oakland. I know you guys were both kind of looking at some of those results. And EnVyUs just qualifier beasts, and yet they sit at the bottom of the pack, Janko. What on earth's going on here?
I think, to be honest, it's just unfortunate circumstance for them, right? Because obviously Pro League is also a very important tournament. You know, they managed to qualify for the last year playoffs, the last season playoffs. They were also a surprise package. Then I think it's a matter of, for some reason, in the Pro League games, they're just not playing their A game, right? But in some of the qualifiers, they have been playing really well and did manage to, you know, go to a few lands.
Yeah, if they continue, you know, their performance in qualifiers in the Pro League, it'd be so quick to be able to jump to the conclusion to calling them onliners. It just seems when those pressure environments online, in terms of the qualifiers, they step up to a different level that we aren't seeing out of them just yet in Pro League. It's great that they're qualifying for these LAN events. The problem is, you know, they're doing it if they don't turn up, and they'd be a little bit disappointing and they knock out teams like North. You know, for me, that's like, man, you know, North can go deep in a tournament, whereas EnVy, they seem to disappoint. I
think it's also a matter of EnVyUs, right? When you play a qualifier, it's, you know, you play multiple games a day, and teams can't really prepare for you. While in Pro League, you know your schedule, you know when you're going to play the team, you know to an extent how the veto is going to go, so you can do a lot more preparation for your opponents.
I mean, let me read their Oakland results. You got it on your screen there as well, but it was a 2-0 versus Fnatic, top of the table in the Pro League. 2-1 versus North, 2-0 versus Mouse. Like, this is just... Like, those are good teams that we wouldn't have been surprised to see qualify, and EnVy are rolling through them.
I think the North one is the one which sticks out the most for me, but the way the maps line up for these two teams, they have a very similar map pool. They both like Cbble, they both like Nuke, so I think they blew them out on Nuke as well as like a 16-6 or 16-3 kind of victory over there on that map, so that's really strong performance from them, and the guy who's standing out as the star.
I do want to bring up the standings, this time for the North American region. I was proud of that one. The North Americans, of course, playing their league in correspondence to us here in Europe, the top 6 of which will go to UNTSA, and they'll be playing those offline finals. Been working on that. I can see you're all proud of me. Optic, Misfits, NRG, SK, Liquid are holding those top spots, and the next is a little bit harder to separate. You can see CLG, Renegades, Cloud9 as well, all clambering for that 6th spot.
I mean, also Immortals, you know, the big roster change that they had, bringing in a couple of new players. They still have a lot of games to play, you know. It's not out of the question that they can qualify. Cloud9 as well need to step it up, but North America has always been very close when it comes to those last spots, right? You would always have Cloud9 in the top, SK Gaming, of course, Liquid, probably Team Liquid. They would, you know, secure spots at the LAN fairly easily, but then for the remaining 3 spots, there's like 8 teams in contention until the very end.
I just want to make sure Renegades, when they actually qualify this time, they can go, and there isn't a minus scheduled over the top of the LAN finals.
It's happened twice now.
That would be fantastic. So whoever gets the next major, if you could not schedule it over the top of the
also
Pro League
been,
finals.
you know, with the new lineup, had some good results. You know, lost to Optic, unfortunately, in the IEM Oakland qualifier in the grand finals. So you can see, like, with the addition of NAF, they have stepped up a little bit. Probably the experience that he has from his days in Optic.
Yeah, I've been staying up late watching them play. This is the best brand of Counter-Strike they've been playing. You know, JKS
fantastic.
and Azza, they're looking like solid within the team now. You still has a few up and down performances, but if he can get on par with everybody else, they're looking like a powerhouse from Australia.
Any of those Aussie powerhouses hanging out in your fantasy? Because, of course, that is what we've got going on here. Some of the members of the panel, the casting desk, and those that hosted the desk prior to me did all make a team. Let's check the scores on the doors.
I hate this segment now because I'm last. If I could not be last, I know there's someone below me, but they don't even have a team. So technically, I'm last here. We got Harry up the top. If we can boot him out. Oh, no, wait. We might have Harry.
He's back.
We got him on the weekend. So we got him back, but Yanko, Yanko's a standout. Let's see who Yanko's got. I respect Yanko's opinion. Let's have a look here. Who you got, Yanko?
iNation. Who are they rocking?
Of course it has Nico.
We had a couple of changes for this week. You know, Device is in because Astralis is playing 6 games. So backing on him to have a good performance. Still having faith in Mixwell and Magic over in North America with Optic. They've been playing really well.
That's a good shout.
Nico, of course, I mean, statistically, he's always going to have it was between him and Simple. And the way Navi is playing, I felt FaZe was a safer bet. And Mousesports also plays a good amount of games and against some, you know, not as difficult opposition. So with the remaining funds, couldn't get Oscar. So I felt, yeah, maybe it's Rops' week this time around.
All right, let's see who else we got going on here. Let me hit the back button.
And he's also, you know, he kind of plays safe. So you feel like he's good
He's
for
going to be
fantasy.
passive, yeah.
Henry's doing all right this time. Let's
Is
see
he?
what Henry's got.
What's the tank done with his roster?
Henry's got... he's got the SK
he
strategy
hasn't
still,
changed it, yeah.
This is just from week 1, basically.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I haven't updated mine, and that's because, you know, if your players don't do very well, you don't get more money, so it's harder to buy players.
Sydney Underground.
So I've really just stuck with the SK guys, hoping that they get across the line, but it's just pathetic.
It's
What's
not
going
pretty.
on here?
I think Fur is a comfortable one. Keep Fur in there no matter what. Look at that, 11 last week.
I have the 4 best players in SK, and I'm struggling. What's going on? What's happening in that region?
I think you need to realize, Chad, even if they win, the likelihood of all 4 players performing really well for fantasy is not that great.
You've solved it. Yeah, Yanko's got some. He's pretty smashed it.
Giving me the insight. I was just expecting a lot of. This is Jason's team. He's with us in spirit. He probably hasn't changed his since week 1 either.
No.
But I think Yanko's going to win because he's the only one actively changing his
And he's
team.
doing well, yeah.
So I still have
twice.
I have the trophy from DreamHack in my Airbnb. Maybe I'll bring her in. We'll give it to Yanko. He'll be happy.
No, I think fantasy and predictions are a game in which I am not allowed to win, Alex, because Chad will find a way.
Here we go.
Read the rules differently, but
Here we go.
We'll leave that for another
well,
day.
I'll tell you what. Apparently, the city of Odense makes robots, right? Like they've got a lot big robotic thing going on. I'll give you a robot if you win.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've tour of a robotic facility because they have them. And you can check them out as well if you do come and visit the city for those finals, Pro League finals. You can find all the information. It will be a URL beneath us at many times throughout this event. So be sure to check it out as we do dive deeper into the Counter-Strike. And I think that's what we should do. We've covered the basis of what's going on in this Pro League and what this week will entail. 6 days of Counter-Strike coming at you. I was about to say coming somewhere else, but let's get straight into it with G2 EnVy. We've got a domestic duo, and a duo that you would think is pretty clear-cut here, Yanko, right? I mean, most of the discussion would be eyeing up the G2 Samurai.
Yes, you would absolutely favor G2 simply looking at the firepower. But the thing is, domestic matchups are always tricky. Not because these teams meet that many times throughout the year, you know, or play in some French leagues. It's just that the players know each other so well. They played together before, you know, Happy as the in-game leader of EnVyUs. He knows how Shox likes to work with his team. He knows how the players like to play, and it's vice versa. So in those situations, it usually gets a bit more tricky for the favorite, right? Because they maybe start second-guessing themselves. Can we make the same calls? They know us so well. They know our spots. Maybe we need to switch things around. And that's where inconsistency comes, and that's where the chance for the underdog awaits.
I definitely think EnVyUs have been looking a lot better online. We saw last week that G2 went down to NIP in 2 upset, very close matches, but it was upset victory nonetheless. And this is the thing, G2 just coming off the back of winning Malmo, right? you know, they were looking hot from there. It's not that they haven't been able to perform to that same level. The tournament caliber hasn't been there to that point, but we haven't seen that carry through just yet. It's kind of like they took their foot off the gas, or maybe they're just waiting until another big tournament pops up. But to get a victory over your countrymen, especially where the ladder's looking for both these teams right now, it's going to be hugely important. This could be a turning point for either team in the season to make those finals.
A huge win needed for either side. A 2-0 would be the dream scenario. I do want to kind of take it down the avenue of just thinking whether or not there is any kind of grudges present. If Yenko, if you could tell us a story about how we got this G2 roster, because it's not necessarily the most recent of stories, admittedly, but it is one that I think is interesting and bears repeating.
True, but it was simply because both teams seriously underperformed prior to the the E-League major in Atlanta, right? And then, you know, they realized that changes need to be made. Basically, at that point, they felt like they've used all of their, you know, other options. So G2 got the better of it in a sense. They got all the star players, right? We finally have Kenny S and Shox playing together. You have Apex there as kind of a secondary caller, entry fragger, and also MBK and Body, who are the support players in a sense. They will do whatever is necessary for the team. MBK perhaps a bit more aggressive in his play, sometimes also that secondary entry fragger, while Body takes a step back. And for EnVyUs, you know, they were basically the leftovers. Yeah. It's like, okay, so after they took all these players, what's left? And we have Happy, RPK, Sixer, and Scream. They are from the original EnVyUs, and the Scream from G2 Esports along with side RPK, and they got XMS from the LDLC team. And initially you were like, I don't think this team is going to do anything, because, you know, they are forced to play with each other because they didn't have anywhere else to go. But you could see actually gradually, for me more than anything else, it was Happy changing the way they play as a team, and he plays individually. And throughout the past couple of months, they've been improving.
Yeah, I think, you know, they could definitely challenge G2 to be considered the best team in France, but I don't think they could challenge G2 to be the better team in the world, if that makes sense. I don't think they have the components to be a better squad. Okay. I think they could beat G2 and be, hey, you know, we consistently beat G2 and we can be the best French team. Doesn't mean they're going to be the best team out of the two in the world. So
internationally, they're going to have trouble.
Yeah, I think so.
They are better at beating G2 than they are at beating other teams who are perhaps on the same or even on a slightly lower level than G2, That's just fair. Because of, you know, knowing them so well.
Yeah, and if I'm Scream as well, I'm going to be wanting to just hit every little one-tap I can, just saying, you know, should have been me, should have been me.
I mean, Scream has his grudges against FaZe, let's not forget that.
Yeah,
I mean,
true,
he was initially kind of supposed to go to FaZe, and then Nico popped in and took his spot. So, you know, you have to give props to Scream, consistently competing, even though he had his own downs.
Yeah, certainly has. The kicks keep coming, but Scream keeps fragging. Keep your eyes on him as he's going to be venturing into that server, albeit briefly. Cbble. First map.
Yeah, so we don't have to turn the clock back that far to see when these teams went head-to-head on this. It was the New York qualifier. On this map, they were 16-6 to EnVyUs, and off of that, XMS, Scream, and Happy all had beast performances, getting 20-plus kills. And when you win a map 16-6, starting on the T side of Cobblestone, that just means every decision you're making, every strat that's being called, it's just going your way. Yeah. And they actually won the series. This is how they qualified for New York. What was that? That would have been in late August, early September, that qualifier, right? It must have been late August.
16-6.
Late August, yes.
Yeah, so it's a big victory. So when you look at that and you have three players who step up and they do things right in that way, to have that happen again, highly unlikely. But is the style of Counter-Strike looking in the favor of EnVyUs? They won last night on Cobblestone as well versus some tough opponents like North.
Also forced by fests when, you know, these two teams play each other. But one thing that you need to point out with G2, at least for me, is they don't win close games. Like, G2 either wins by a landslide, more or less, or they lose by a landslide, simply because they invest so much in force buys, right? They don't take the eco, and that puts you in a situation where if you lose one or two force buys like that, your actual gun rounds are going to be at a disadvantage. That makes it a lot easier for your opponents to defeat you. On the other side of things, if you win the force buy, then you're in the control of the economy, then they tend to bully their opponents in that scenario. So for G2, a lot of it is dependent on those, you know, good starts and those early force buys, how they go. And it's maybe something that they need to address moving forward. Should they maybe take a step back with that and have more faith in their gun rounds?
You see, the thing is with the economy management from G2, we've seen some weird stuff over the last couple of months from these guys, right? We had I think it was Cologne where we saw it come out, where they were doing take the full eco in the second and go into the Galil buy in the third, or scrapping together AKs. They were doing that, and they were also doing the same thing on the CT side with Famisys and stuff, because the UMP was so strong at that point, or at least was still being used in the same way. So if they have that style they show, they have the force buy style of old, which we've seen them do time to time. There's even been glimpses where they take proper ecos. So I guess it just depends on what they consider the right game plan for their opponent. And maybe versus EnVyUs, you know, concede the ecos. You know, maybe just do a couple of pistol upgrades, don't do the armor, see if you can get off into a better foot on those gun rounds, because when you're losing 16-6 on a map that didn't happen that long ago, the wound's still got to be pretty sore, and maybe a different game plan needs to be addressed.
I mean, it's strange, but for some reason I am starting to feel more and more positive about EnVy's kind of outlook into this series. Yeah, I started by saying surely a G2, but actually, as we discuss it, I'm starting to realize this game's a lot closer than perhaps anticipated.
I think EnVy are a good team. I believe that why they fail at times, mostly at LAN tournaments, is due to individual mistakes. When I look at how they play and the ideas they have and the game plan and how Happy is trying to direct the game, I think it's really good. I think also the changes he has made individually, you can see him at times going in first in an execute, right? Using the fact that he was always on the other side of the map compared to his team, using that as a bait of sorts. But the problem was, crucial round comes in, EnVy's in a 5v4, and the round falls apart, and you can see them like crumble mentally as well, and the game goes out of their hands. So if they can just work on that, if they can become a bit more consistent and a bit more disciplined, perhaps is the right word, you know, they can do even greater things, I believe.
And we do use that word, that buzzword momentum, in a lot of our desk segments, but it has to be mentioned that, you know, EnVy are on a win streak here. We talked about that qualifier.
Yeah.
It was, you know, Fnatic, North, Mouse Sports. They played against Na'Vi before that. They even had a domestic battle versus, I think it was Dog Down. Either way, it's another win, you know, 5 wins in a row.
Even looking at the LAN, you know, the E-League group, right? They beat NIP 2-1, and the 2 map wins are Nuke and Cash, which are NIP's strongest maps. And NIP is another team that's been on the rise recently. So that even translates to, you know, some LAN play as well. So I think definitely EnVy will be confident coming into this matchup, and then it just comes down to, you know, executing properly and getting the good reads.
Yeah, I think a key thing to point out is RPK's performances. You know, the fact that he's now probably the most consistent fragger on this team.
Were you going to say best player?
I was going to say
Best French player.
What stopped you there?
On the squad, I guess, you know, you could argue that Scream might, once he's hitting his peak, at least what we've seen in CSGO, might be higher than RPK's. But the RPK have Source that, you know, I don't know if you two would remember, but I was playing back then.
Didn't play that game.
And he was a beast. He was probably the best Source player we had. Henry always harps on about it if you ever listen to his cast. I don't know, we'd tune out. But I think, you know, if he can continue that, that's definitely what EnVyUs need. There's just a couple of his ratings, you know, recently he's been over, you know, against North at 1.24 or 1.48. You know, those are huge in the victories. He's just solid.
That's the question. Is this an overperformance from RPK that's happening right now, or is it, you know, maybe not at this level, but sort of this level? Is that what's going to happen from now on? Because if he can maintain it, and if he suddenly is the star of this team, then that adds a lot to, you know, what Scream is already doing in XMS every now and then.
And maybe EnVy can continue this streak. The questions are going to be answered that we've outlined here in our pre-match. Last question to the gents, the superheroes for our Super Week, is who's taking Cbble? I want to just get some team names, so just because I want to see if anyone's actually committing to that EnVy call.
We built up the storyline that EnVyUs here. You know,
I'm taking it. I'll say EnVy win Cbble.
I'm going to go with G2. I think they're going to bounce back with a vengeance.
Okay, bouncing back.
I'm going with EnVy on call.
Yeah, hang out. All right, cool. 2 for EnVy. That's what we're saying. The odds, certainly from our sponsor, do not go that way. But let's go ahead and jump in with your casters. It's once again the ever lovely, the Cupheads, I like to call them. It's Sedekist and Henry.
It's a great duel and then some. How you doing?
Well, I missed the joke
It's a line
there.
from Cuphead.
Oh, okay,
Don't worry
cool.
about it.
Yeah, I
It's
like
a good
it.
game. Very frustrating if you don't have a controller. I found that out the hard way.
Okay, well,
That's why these scissors are here. Why are these scissors?
I don't know why this is here, but it looks like we are ready to play. They're ready to get on the server. It's going to be Team EnVyUs versus G2. Matthew, are you excited?
Somewhat, yes. We've got some derbies, as you would say, Hank, tonight. We've got French, and then we've got Swedish.
It's all very exciting, I have to say. But EnVyUs, they'll be on the CT side here. 5 sets of armor, no kits. That's a little bit surprising. You'd think you'd have one player with maybe a smoke and a kit just to hold off that B-rush, potential B-rush, I should say. And no utility for the G2 side either. They'll be going all in with the armor, no upgraded pistols. And we head towards B, and there will be a little bit of aggression from Sixer towards Long A. He'll be trying to take down Apex, and the shot might come in just right about now, but it's going to be XMS that strikes first as he finds Shoxy. 5-on-4, but MBK striking back from the drop-down room.
Striking back from the drop-down room. However, keep an eye on it because it's still a battle out toward long. Sixer wins against Kenny. Can repeak as well, controlling the front side of the stables and manages to do exactly that against Apex. Happy wins out drop defensively, and we move on.
Well, there it is. EnVyUs normally come out on top of G2 in online performances. I think the debut of this EnVyUs lineup was against G2, and it was a bit of a stomping on this map, if I don't remember last season. And we'll see if they can continue that form as we go 1-0 in their favour. And it will be G2 with the force buy here on the second. Not a big deal on the T side. We had some more on the CT side. We normally talk about that. But Kenny S does get armor. I was about to say, he's keeping himself a little bit more modest. He's gone all in. This is a signature move of the G2 boys, and they're all put to be stifled at the start of the game. We'll see what he can do It will be towards long A we go, but smoked out. Nice smoke by Sixer. It will hold them at least for a little bit. There is a gap there, so Body can get closer to long A and actually push through here.
It's all about the pushes. Sixer tries to win out on his exchange, following on the back of Scream, who does well again with the MP9. It's second only to the Bison in terms of power. Oh, Shock's being pinched in toward the horse's stable. And from the horse's mouth, Henry G, why don't you tell us who won that round?
It was EnVyUs. They held them off, and only a couple of kills coming in for G2 there. Nothing really to report in terms of their force by performance. So bomb going down, that's the main thing. The money's going to be very limited into round number 4. This time, though, bit of a clean sweep for EnVyUs coming in. And they've got 4 MP9s, so they will have a bit of a bonus situation on their hands going to the next one. I would have preferred a bit more firepower prepare for the next one, but still get some cash in the bank, and we'll see if they can keep all 5 players alive. It'll be interesting to see if they do, what they do in terms of the adjustment. Do they bring out the M4s or try and win the round with SMGs? I don't think that's going to be happening against the AK-47s, but for now we go towards drop down. It will be RPK to defend, and he's got a bit of help from Happy as well. Smoke just buying them some time right now.
A bit of help from Happy. Happy Days making the plays. Brought to you by...
Go on.
I don't know, I was going to say Raise. That doesn't really... There's no sense.
No.
Why rhyme for the sake of rhyming? Someone asked that question about all my casts as Body tries to spray him with the first Glock.
Damage inflicted by the Glock so far. 4 players.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually when you consider as well that they have MP9s. Thankfully though, there is no armor. There was one M4. That's in the hands of Scream, and he's got the range to work it. Can you work it?
We'll find out. I think Scream certainly will here. He's going to get 3 kills here, almost certainly, but gets taken down for long. This is looking disastrous for EnVyUs here. They lose the M4, but still we have got 6 here at the back of the side. Problem is 18 HP. Yep, down he goes. And it will be a 2 versus 1 now. This was a full eco for the G2 boys, and they could well win the round.
Could. We'll see if they do or not. XMS sits in behind the doorway. The reason I asked if you could work it is Missy Elliott called. She was still wondering, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
As XMS goes back inside of Murder, up toward Juliet, and who would want to murder such a lovely lady? Well, Body does. He doesn't like romantic stories. He certainly doesn't like reading Shakespeare in school, and it goes 2-1. G2 find the round. Impressive as well.
Scream against unarmored players there. He had to have more confidence of his... He had full HP and an M4 at that range. Why is he being so tentative? Surely just peek up and spray them down. Like, why are you trying to one-tap them there? That's sometimes where his playstyle is questionable. That they're going for the taps all the time, especially against Glocks, no armor. Just go for a full-on spray. Just get some kills on the board. Like that's guaranteed kills for days. But still, it will be the G2 victory. And round number 4 coming in. You can see there's some CD money still. They have got UMP-CZ, but they're open rifles to work with as well. Scream takes a nade to the face in middle, and he might be taken down here. We'll use the HE back. Does he cause the same sort of damage? Not at all. Tickles Body a little bit. The 6 will be challenged first by Kenny S. And he might actually come out on top there. Does a little bit of damage, but doesn't capitalize on the opportunity of Kenny coming around the corner with a nade in his hand.
Speaking of nades and corners, there's not a nade, but there is a corner. Apex goes around and finds Sixer. Mac 10. Screams backed off with the CZ as things turn, and G2 has a chance to really start to punish if they break this round, break down Envy. They waltz into a position of power, and MBK certainly allows that by getting Happy.
That's the AWP gone as well. Scream that gets 1 with the CZ. 3 on 2 though, and the T certainly having quite a large advantage here as they make their way towards the A side. Smokes down towards Connector, and the APC as well. As XMS actually drops that smoke and capitalizes, takes down Kenny S and brings them back into the round, but not for long. Body, he'll take him down, and now it's down to RPK, but not for long. G2 bounce back straight away. There was a force buy from EnVyUs there. They managed to get an AWP out there, a rifle as well. The CZ kills coming in, but wasn't quite enough, and it is going to be an eco now for EnVyUs after losing 2 rounds in a row. G2 pretty much aware of the situation. This is one of the rounds you hold up in the default at the very start, then go as a 5-man unit. You can just rush B if you want to. Certainly an option against the unarmored players, but a bit of a partial buy from EnVyUs there. Can see 3 sets of armor, some CZs as well. These seem to be the most powerful pistols in the game right now.
It's all about the stopping power of a pistol. Yeah. Archer taught me that one.
Well, there you go. I don't know the show well enough, so...
It's fine. I don't like Rick and Morty. It's the same thing. You quote Rick and Morty sometimes, and I don't get it. I don't. Fair enough. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't watch it.
Yeah, I've watched Archer. I've only seen the first season, so...
Yeah, that's pretty much where I stopped, too. I'm like the 3-season guy, because usually by the time a show's popular, there's already 3 seasons out, so you marathon them, and then you just stop there.
Yeah.
Did it with Community as well.
Well, there we go. It's going to be Apex with the Mac-10. Takes down Sixer, and this was the eco, just to remind you, from EnVyUs, but that Mac-10, probably a bit more than it was worth, potentially, at that sort of range. Managed to get the opening kill, and we'll go towards the B side now to finish. At this point, it will be G2. Almost guaranteed to win the round unless Scream goes absolutely wild with this Desert Eagle.
Go wild. Scream's going to fall back. Deagle still behind the statue as Apex drops in from drop room. Mac-10 finding a kill. It's XMS that'll turn his attention that direction to follow it up, and does so successfully with the CZ75. Manages as well to transition back beside the wall, save himself, keep him alive a little bit longer. That baits Scream's Deagle back into fine body, but it's Kenny S that makes up. Happy that's left alive, and Happy that's going to run away because he's got armor. Armor, apparently to him, is quite valuable, so he'll go look for a gun by the deceased at A.
Yeah, I think he goes towards the B horse here. Maybe finds one of those traded kill. One of the AKs potentially is dropped, or a Mac-10, something. Like you said, he's going to be saving the armor and the CZ here. It's $1,000 for the head armor he has. $500 for the CZ as well, so definitely worth saving. He goes towards drop down, see if there's anything available to him. I think this might be something, unless G2 are smart and made sure they run off with the weaponry. Either way, they'll be staying at the B platform for now. He could find an extra frag here. If it's coming in at least, this is quite smart from Happy. Beneath him right now will be MBK, and we'll check that corner and we'll certainly get this kill. There it is. Can he get the weapon though? Oh, how's he done that? Gets away with the AK-47, the armor, and a smoke as well. A bonus smoke. You'd love to see that. And there will be money, not quite available for EnVyUs at this point. It's going to see RPK on 3K, and they save an AK-47. I thought they'd probably force this one, but they're going for the more conservative approach. G2 take the lead now, 3-2.
Body in toward the B tunnels. Gets himself toward the long corner fast enough he could catch off the pistols. As Happy's the only one on an AK. It's XMS that made challenge, but thinks wisely of it and sits back to allow them to walk toward him. Quick peek for information, and I imagine he'll stay passive on this. Smoke would be early, considering he's had nothing against him, so I think he's looking to drop the smoke and fall back as soon as they put pressure and presence on. Meanwhile, that's exactly what they've done at drop. XMS knows now that they're there. Smoke already deployed and caught out by quite a well-timed flash. Body and MBK go away to Happy. The one AK we mentioned does manage to turn to find the kill on Apex, but Shox follows it back, and that pretty much should be the round in itself, having the AK gone down early with only one kill. So we'll go now 4-2 for G2.
Not really much EnVyUs could do there. They get one kill with the AK-47, but Scream, he might find one more and potentially save the gun. I thought EnVyUs would buy up into this round, considering they saved their weapon in the previous. They would have had one pistol maybe with the rifles, but looking at the bigger picture, potentially, yeah, making sure they get the AWP out, which has been an interesting point of conversation for EnVyUs. It's been 6 of the last few months, but Happy seems to be getting more involved with that weapon. Definitely will be aiming for double orbs on this map. I'm almost certain of that as they get deeper into this one. Maybe that's what they're saving for, to make sure they get that double orb set up out, and maybe that's where they're going to feel a lot more comfortable, and we might save something here. Scream did try and get inside there. Bomb explosion could help him out, that's why he runs back in. Not going to be the case though, and let's see if they go for the double orbs here. Sixer and RPK yet to buy, and they'll take a pause, maybe just discuss the setup here. Orb comes up for Kenny S, of course. If it's his day, he can be one of the world's best AWPers, but in these French derbies, it doesn't necessarily always come through. It's always a little bit interesting with the results that come out. G2 certainly the better team in terms of world standings and performances on LAN right now, but EnVyUs always seem to be a little bit of a wild card for them. Sixer brings up the solo orb. 4 M4s around him, of course. We do have one diffuse kit for Happy, so not ideal, but it's a decent buy all the same. And we'll see if Sixer goes aggressive here as he heads towards long A. Maybe we'll actually go for the aggressive peek here. No, fall back towards danger. Buys himself some time with that incendiary to stop them rushing.
Sixer, meanwhile, with the AWP. It's not going to be aggressive. Did look down below fast. Couldn't find it. Now has to sit to hold the angle at long. Meanwhile, aggressive is the name of the game more toward B, and it works out. XMS with 2 playing off of Happy. They'll be happy with the results because RPK now finds NBK, Henry GK, and Sado K. IST, as Apex tries to pinch in and does successfully Sixer, who goes back and finds Kenny greeting him on the other side of it. This opens up the A site. Despite all the trades going in the favor of Envy on B, they react well and still have the bomb to contend with, but RPK's position misses his shot. That could be the round in itself.
Yeah, that should be it. XMS now with no kid, no nades, but does find the first shot. Apex caught in the open there. It's down to Kenny S, but he's very good at the close range AWP encounters, and there it is. The headshot takes him down. A bit of BM there towards the end as well, just to show who's boss, as he pulls out the deagle, and will be a nice shot at finishing things off. And it was good trades from EnVyUs there. They were holding their own up until that kill on the bomb side there. It seemed like EnVyUs potentially salvaged it there with the kill from XMS, but not meant to be. Kenny S seems like he's turned up to play today. There will be another eco from what I can see here. RPK gets an M4. Did he have more money than his teammates? He didn't. Down to 650 once again. They do have maximum loss bonus, so it won't be the end of the world, but still, he has been a little bit behind in terms of the cash. M4 and armor for him. Some Deagle CZs, and G2 will be aware this is a massive possibility, and we're taking things very slowly here. Both the mistakes to be made. That'll be the first kill for Kenny S, but Sixer does reply with a nice shot to CZ. Now it's going to get a little bit uncomfortable as Sixer finds a second as well. He might get a little bit more here.
He's got Scream to work with, who manages to find a kill picking away. This is definitely getting uncomfortable, I think is the right word for it. It's awkward, no less, as they will at least plant the bomb on B. But they have to await the rotations. AK's picked up. Happy with no armor. AWP for Sixer. He without armor as well, but AWP, that's fine. Find the shot. Should be fine. So we get a shot, they'll find Shocks in the site as he Molotovs off below the broken wall to discourage the entry's speed. And then they position themselves for trades, but it's going to have to be better than a trade. Shocks in a 1 versus 3. Good positioning to find the first kill on Scream. They now know where he is, but he rotates around. They're on the defuse, and he lines them up perfectly. Shocks saves the round.
You could just feel it all coming together for him. Unfortunately, they don't have kids there, so that's one player taken out of the 3-on-1 situation. He has to give it that full 10 seconds. Defuse, they try to set up the human shield, though, with no armor. He just melts through them. And it is going to be 6-2. A definite chance there for him. He is pushing long A, 6 to find some great frags out of the CZ. Gets a third with the AWP as well. Wasn't quite enough. A situation you think like EnVyUs should be winning that for days, but very well played by Shoxy. Gets that first kill, and that pretty much sets him up at the victory there. No double AWP still. Surprised that by EnVyUs. I thought that'd be coming out at some point. You can see 5 out, 4 and 4s, and a fast play towards the upper platform. The XMS to take down Shoxy. An advantage for EnVyUs here. Can they hold on to it? XMS gets tagged down to 5 points of health. He's still alive for now. And just to upgrade to an AK as well. MPK towards drop down, looking for the recovery frag.
Good shot. Finds it on Scream.
Oh!
On 4, but that changes. Sixer's got a shot up close on Apex and stays alive on 12 HP. MBK suffers the same consequences of being found and not delivering. However, Body is still trying to work his way silently into the B side. Good find. Just above the stairs to catch off XMS as he tries to retreat to the lava hole. Keeps his head down as well. He's got to line up toward the site, but a Molotov at his feet forces him out. And out, blinded he shall be. It's Happy to find 2.
Nice work by Happy. Good flashbangs deployed by the teammate running around the corner, finding them on a plate, and he'll help himself to both. It will be 6-3 now as EnVyUs pull around back. They do manage to keep, I think it was 2 players, 3 players, okay, so not the end of the one. The double AWP setup, as I said, it would be coming out eventually for Sixer, and Happy is starting to be deployed now. I'm interested to see what Happy brings to the table here. He's going to go a little bit more aggressive. Actually looks like Sixer will, as he heads towards the bottom of middle right now, waiting for the flashbangs to come in. As soon as that flash pops, he'll take a peek, but G2 not giving him anything to work with there, and it's Apex through the door, of course, takes down Scream. They've got that early advantage once again. That's a disaster for EnVyUs. They're trying to go on the aggressive start there, have the first pick in their favor, but waiting for the flashbang, completely wrecked through the door. Apex finds the advantage, 6-3 overall, and EnVyUs with a reset potential here as well. It's really bad in using the double AWPs command in this sort of scenario. Now G2 have the advantage. He can stay as a 5-man unit, execute towards B, and has locked those AWPs out of the play. It'll be very difficult for them to find frags here.
Difficult indeed, but they'll find a way, because where there is a will, Henry, there's a way. That's what I always say. You know me. A believer in the mottos. As XMS is a believer in the kills. He'll just worship them all. Get 2, but then Happy will have to do. Gets MBK as he tries to get back around from drop, gets through the window late, but Kenny, he starts off as Kenny often does with the AWP. Opens up a space to fake the plant because he is sitting in the open. He could have held it, little does he know. He's expecting the smoke to be counted off. A double op setup it would be on the retake, by the way.
Yes. With one smoke and a kid as well. It's Shoxy to hold off Sixer at the upper platform. Kenny S looks towards the double doors here. Sixer had to give away his position here with the smoke deployed. Maybe take some aggro away for his teammate. The double orbs is not ideal in this situation. And we'll see if they can prevail.
Prevail. They don't do, not yet. Happy is going to bail away. In fact, the AWP has no chance. Good hold from Shox. The only AK in it, he has the exact position he needs. Yeah, 5 HP as well. You're right. You're right. I should have mentioned it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It just means like he 2-on-1, he could win that with 100 HP, but only got such little. It's so unlikely, right? So he wants to make sure he saves it. But Shoxy, he can smell blood in the water, but Happy beats him to the punch. Taken down with the AWP, saved the weapon. And they'll be forcing into this regardless. They've got a full reset there as well. So Happy saving the AWP. They'll probably force around with CZs, Deagles, potentially. Maybe a UMP for the likes of RPK. He's got a little bit more money. Same story for Sixer as well. Are they not going for it? I thought they almost certainly would. There it is. Okay. Starting to see the investment come through now. Not going all in, which is surprising. Like French style usually means like if we save an AWP and we've been reset, we're taking every opportunity we can take here. But more conservative will be happy with the AWP. Not throwing over to his main AWP. Go towards the upper platform and narrowly miss out on the shot there. 7-3 and unlikely to win this. They've got a couple of flashbangs here, some CZs. People is boosted around the map and Happy holding towards B.
Small gap by which he will guard the site. Kenny looking for equal success with an equally small gap toward the stairwell from long B. It's over toward A. They start to accumulate. I would expect possibility that the pistols will be swarmed and found out inside of danger because they will walk slowly enough that even though Scream's boosted, if Sixer can bait them in, perhaps they get 1 or 2 kills, but I don't think they'll have too much trouble being grouped as they are.
Yeah, they'll get a couple of kills here. Yeah, now it gets awkward. No flashbangs used. The Scream could actually find more here, considering he's going Kenny S, but tries to get the AK-47 taken down there by the P250. So, situation recovered with XMS coming in the back as well. He could actually cause more damage here. Bomb dropped as well. It makes a smart player falling back and not going super aggro. Keep things uncomfortable as the time ticks away as well. This could be the not been forced by a victory for the CT. CZ's in a saved AWP. It's up to Shoxy to try and recover, but Kenny S makes the first incision here, taking down XMS, but time ticking away. 10 seconds down to Happy with the AWP. Not an ideal weapon for this scenario, but with 9 seconds, if he hits that shot, there might be a real chance here. RPK with the CZ and does drop the bomb. I think that's it, Matt. 2 seconds. 1, Kenny S can't stop it. It's over, and the CTs do win the round.
Kenny S couldn't do anything of it. Got the kill after the round ended. He haven't even peeked him to try and get money off, and Kenny hit the shot just after he would have needed to do so. But either way, they'll get a pause. They'll draw it out because Envy, although they won the first 2 rounds and gave up the momentum, have fought and kept it reasonably close. The money is equally the same. That was well-timed.
That was well-timed.
The sneeze, that was.
Yeah. Well, it will be EnVyUs there with the partial buy victory. The saved AWP didn't really have that much impact. It was the CZ stack and G2's negligence there with the flashbangs and smoke utilization. They didn't really eradicate risks is normally what the aim of the game is on those anti-eco rounds or anti-force buy rounds. You want to be smoking the end of long A, so you don't have to look there. Then you can use 1 flash in that particular area towards drop-down split between you, but this all went through 1 by 1 and just hoping they'd hit the shot. Got distracted by the player in danger, then Scream had a couple of frags from the boosted area. Then things got very uncomfortable as XMS came in for the flank as well. Not a very convincing round there from G2. I assume they forced buy into this one from the bike. As you are now, yes, everyone down to 0. All comes out for Kenny, which can be enough to win rounds on its own. An AK there and 3 pistols. I would say execution very likely here towards B. Try and get 3 smokes down there. Flash over. Kenny S covers them while they get the bomb planted down, but we'll see if it works out for them.
Either way, you sit to wait. And wait we shall do as XMS does the same, but he's going to try and encourage a peek from his team and does get one from Happy, but they blind him accordingly in response, and that catches them both out despite the Flames being down at their feet. It's BK instead that's the next in line. This has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, he was very low HP, got taken down by Apex, and his Scream only with the MP7, who does hold towards B halls. That's a guaranteed kill on Kenny S now. He's not going to check that at all. Ooh, okay, I thought there was a chance he missed it, but there it is. That should be the round now as well. Nice smoke to cover the bomb. 45 seconds remaining. Apex doesn't stand a chance, but he does make quite an intelligent move here to go towards middle, potentially long A. So he could find a player top of mid. It looks like they're aware. I'm going to have a look at Six's setup. He is in the B halls as well, but I wouldn't be considering this right away, considering how quickly he got this position. He starts walking right about now. Ooh, he's going to T-spawn. Oh my god, this is the long con map. I don't think he's got enough time for this. I think he should have walked into B halls there. Like right now, he's just hoping he finds them lined up and he can kill them in the back. He's got to start walking here. He's got 10 seconds. It's over. As we can't plant, he's hoping for the double kill.
Yeah, he's not going to find that, is he? They're going to spread themselves out knowing the situation with time. They know that the bomb's down. There's no need for them to be even exposed slightly. He may get one. Okay, fair enough. Good enough. One of the gun did scream. It's the AWP, hence why, but he'll back off.
Yeah, it was a nice idea, but didn't quite stick the landing there with the T-spawn decision. I think it was enough in terms of the around the world going towards middle, then the B halls. That would have been fine. That would have been at least some sort of surprise factor, but T-spawn has left himself no time to actually win the round. 2 in a row for EnVyUs, and this is another force by potentially. No, just a saved orb. Given to Kenny, of course. Apex does keep his head armor and CZ, so Apex down to just $100, but he didn't get any from the previous round, so I'll try and back up Kenny here. As we enter round number 13, coming to the closing sectors of the first half here. G2 looking relatively healthy, but EnVyUs certainly still in the game. Pharmacy's MP9's 1 and 4 in the all for 6 at this time. He holds towards long A, as seen on the screen right now. And he should get his first frag. But Kenny beats into the punch there, but going to be screened to recover the situation. Nice little spray down with the M4A1S.
Scream will back off all the way to the site, leaving pistols in the hands of only NBK Body and Shocks, who's picked up an AWP, Henry.
Can be quite proficient with it.
Actually,
NBK's got one as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
I get both the ops.
Let's have a go then. Well, Happy spilling brave as he pushes the smoke and indeed will be punished for it. NBK waiting on the other side and can't believe his luck. CT just pushing through with a grey screen, giving us the equalising frag. We'll take that all day long. 3 on 3. Back towards the B-bomb side, but no nades. They have got the orbs to work with, sure. But Kenny S is down. It's up to Shoxy, who used to be the secondary AWPer for G2. He's actually MBK now, believe it or not, so it's good news he's got one as well. As we do head towards B, Shoxy will try and open things up. Time ticking away, 30-second mark. You can see one of their teammates will be towards the A side of the map, just trying to pull a rotation here. I believe that is going to be MBK as he hits another shot. That's going to pull RBK away from the B-bomb site here as Body makes his way in. He hasn't been detected. He gets towards danger here. XMS, this is everything. Chicken Coop, deny the plant, round 1. And he might just do that as well. Oh, they're really not considering Chicken Coop. Matt, it's over. And there it is.
Wow.
The frag that decides it all.
Third straight time, they're going to run out of time.
Yeah.
Time certain finish yet again. Third in a row that the bomb does not get planted for G2, and Body and MDK will stay alive, and XMS can do nothing to even find them.
He saves the AWP though, picks it up, upgrades his MP9, wins the round.
This hurts the money so much each time.
Yeah, because 2 players survived getting no cash, no bomb plant.
Yep,
So.
and it's been at least 1 in the last 3 rounds, so they've not been receiving bonuses. No Christmas bonus for them, Hank. I'm keeping it for myself.
I thought you would. 7-6, and yeah, that is disappointing from G2, I have to say. Not even checking Chicken Coop. Oh, time was running down, they took a bit of a risk there, but happening like 3 times this round, or this half I should say, that's a little bit disappointing for them. But there it is. It will be another huge advantage here for the CTs. Forced by, of course, from G2 at this point, need to start getting some rounds on the board after losing, I think, 3 in a row, all of which they timed out. So,
yeah, pretty ridiculous when you think about it, isn't it?
saving weaponry, a couple of them, but still, no bombs being planted. That's the problem. First shot from Shoxy, though, does take down RPK. Something to work with here. They head towards the A side, from what I can see right now. But Scream seems to be stepping up in the last few. Takes an MBK for the refrag. And remember, G2 weren't fully equipped into this one. Body and Apex just down on pistols here.
G2 with Body up close on a Deagle. Trying to find his way through. He, as well, carries the bomb. Keep that in mind if he goes in first. Because then they'll go from first to last. Just like Skrillex did once. People will understand that. He used to be in the band called From First to Last.
Right, well, there you go.
Sixer gets 2, goes back out, can't find the shot onto Shocks instead, switches to the pistol, Scream gets it instead. 7-7, a call from heaven.
3 for Scream, 2 for 6 up. AWP doing good work there towards the end, and G2 their money. This is their calling card. The G2 boys, just always being in a financial deficit through an entire half. Normally on the CT side, but this time they've managed on the T side with all the kind of awkward affairs with the time-up. They have to go into the last round here with 4 CZ75s, a UMP as well. Maybe just a rush B. They're not going to be fully committed to that just yet. They hold towards the upper platform, see if any of the CTs make a mistake. No more to work with this time. MBK has got that SMG, but I don't see how this round really works out for them. They do have 5 smokes and molotovs, so they opted for more utility instead of the firepower. But to be fair, the CZ seem to be so deadly these days, it might not even matter.
They are pretty good, I have to say. I think they've improved over... I mean, you talked about it, not wanting to use one over that of the Tech-9, but with the Tech-9 fall off, CZ certainly back in the mix. I still hate the, for the reasons you call it, the IKEA pistol. It takes so long to...
Yeah, I think people just get more proficient with it now because they've actually given it a chance and used it themselves and had a few weeks since the Tech-9's gone, and it just seems like the skill level has gone through the roof with that weapon. But still, here we go. Final execution towards B. We'll focus on drop down for now with the replay towards the upper platform. This kill's huge, but it's XMS and Scream getting it done with the rifles there. It will be an EnVyUs first half victory, 8-7. After winning the last 5 rounds in a row. EnVyUs look like they were out of it, but they managed to bounce back there, and they'll take the lead as well. G2, same old problems, managing to ruin their economy and running the clock down time and time again. I'm sure they can bounce back, and we'll find out in the second half.
Well, it's been back and forth. The two French teams seem to struggle against each other based on knowing each other so well. Remember, they said it on the desk. EnVyUs robbed G2 of a spot in New York in the qualifier, and online they continue to be a pest. It looked like this was going to go G2's way, and then Envy pulled it back. This is a fast pistol round. I'm sorry, Henry, you didn't even get a chance to talk because they just want to play. And they go aggressive toward middle. It's Scream. It's still alive in it. He's trying to find block shots over the edge of the rock. He's got Happy somewhere alongside. Surely he can get back into the picture, but he sat so far back without much cover. He's trying to find the picks to long, and apparently it will work. He gets 1 and Scream gets 2. That'll do.
5 players middle. It's a bold play.
Cotton.
It didn't work out for them at all. It's not really much analysis there, really. They rush middle on the CT side. That's not a thing. He got a few kills, but eventually got picked off one by one. It's not an ideal choke point for 5 players to run through. It's very tight, and trades for the T's, coming in bucket loads and screen to finish things off. Very interesting round from G2. Not really sure what the discussion that was had before that round was called, and they all agreed to it apparently and went for it. So there you go.
Maybe just trying to catch them off? I don't know. Like we said, they know each other so well.
Yeah, I guess in that sense, I just throw in something completely random that no one else can possibly predict. You brush 5 players middle of the CD side. Anyway, it will be 9-7. EnVyUs extend the lead. Another 3 MAC-10s here, Scouts and 1 AK. I'm not a huge fan of this setup, but G2 not force buying for once. And this is what we've discussed last week, Matthew. I think with the recent adjustments to the way aim punch works, this is what we'll see a lot more of. This was something I was calling out for the last 2 years. I've been talking about this, but now with the aim punch like nerfed a little bit, now maybe we can see people actually managing their economy, as you would say, correctly.
I would say that. I think OJ Borg would say that too.
He would.
He was in town yesterday. Didn't call me. What a dick.
Yeah, that's right. I bumped into the airport a couple of times since I've been here. It's really weird that he comes in. There we go. It will be Kenny S to try and defend here with the Desert Eagle. Not really much he can do about that. The MAC-10 will prevail, and it will be the bomb going down as well. Happy to find a second frag. This round didn't really live up to the hype of the first. The 5-man stack of it. I want to see more of that. That's at least a little bit interesting. These rounds certainly not. It will be quite a clean sweep there for EnVyUs on a single frag going against them. 10-7, and fully good now for G2. EnVyUs looking very good here on Cobblestone. They have been a bit of a pest for everyone recently online. They seem to qualify for every single event.
It's true.
Like New York, and now just qualified for Oakland, but then they don't really seem to step up at the event itself. The LAN is where it all goes horribly wrong. Look great online, but I guess that's fine. Just get to the event, get that paycheck coming through, and it's
exactly.
It's enough.
What a great business model.
Yeah, I think they'll address it. Like, obviously, this team's still gelling somewhat. Like, they've got some younger guys coming through, like XMS, and I guess Sixer hasn't been at the top level for that long.
Yeah, you say that, but they've been a team just as long as G2's been a team, right? It's
true.
been almost 9 months.
I'm not going to suggest they're ever going to win a major event.
No, of course.
Or premier event, whatever you want to call it. But top 8, the breaking playoffs, I think, would be something for them, just to kind of like keep the dream alive. This team has got legs to it. And it's not just about qualifying for events and not doing anything at them. I'd like to see them make a playoff and maybe like be a bit of a dark horse in a minute, you know? I don't think this team will ever win championships, but they can be competitive, I think.
Do they say dark horse because it's a stallion? Is that actually what a stallion is?
I don't really know.
They're dark. Like, just because a horse is dark, does that mean it's fast? I don't understand, Hank.
No, I don't know where that comes from, really.
Someone Google it for me.
11-7. I'm sure the chat on YouTube will help you out momentarily. Round number 4. This is the first gun round here. Kenny S, of course, with the AWP, but the money's okay. You can see they've actually got the defuse kit, some utility. It's because they didn't get armor in the second round. It's always nice to see. 4 sets of body armor, just a note as well. XMS could cause some damage there with the MAC-10. He'll be licking his lips at that prospect. Makes it a lot more powerful, of course. Close range headshots with the one-tap potential on the MAC-10 is not bad at all. Number 4, and Kenny S holds towards middle, backed up by Apex. Can be a pretty little nifty long A player. So we'll get into it. Go towards middle, very basic approach here from EnVyUs. Is this the snake towards danger? 3 players make their way in. MAC-10 leading the charge, but Kenny S to strike first, and this is where the unarmored heads become a little bit scary. His XMS is the first, but it's Kenny S holding strong with the AWP.
Can we just say unarmored heads are bald from now on?
No.
Well, all right, I guess it's not fair to Moses, is it? Ooh, good shot by Kenny. Finds XMS. Goes back out.
No.
Big miss, though. Big miss as he perhaps overreacts to some extent.
That was the shot you expect him to hit for days. He can hit all the flicks and everything. That's one not even looking at him, and it's going to cost him the round. Maybe not quite yet, because Shoxy's coming up towards middle, and he looks a little bit mad. He takes down Happy, and now it's the 1v1. The bomb not planted yet. Scream with a little bit of a disadvantage here in that sense. Shoxy knows exactly where he is. He's got to take 4 seconds to actually plant it. Does he think he's gone towards B, though? Shoxy, apparently not. He goes towards Julia, and he's playing this very well indeed. Oh, he's panicking. Scream has no idea where he's gone.
No, Shox has an angle. He could easily get a shot to the side. Scream just barely made it across, but Shox reads that perfectly. Has a kit all the time in the world. Goes back to just check to make sure he wasn't leaving anything behind. But he gets the WP. They get the round, and G2 finally on the board in the second half as we sit 11-8.
Yeah, it's funny we called out Kenny S there, but he actually got 3 kills to open things up. So he did his job, to be fair. You can't expect him to get 4 Ks to win rounds. That's not realistic. He missed, I guess, in terms of his level, quite an easy shot, but still they win it. Shoxy coming in with a nice flank there from bottom of middle. Takes on the low HP player connector, and Scream just looked out of his depth there. Outplayed beyond belief by Shoxy as he gets in towards Juliet. He's had no idea he could be in that position and waits for Scream to walk in his crosser there. It's completely outmaneuvered. And still, though, CTs are going to be struggling here. A lot of reset potential, and with one player surviving, you see the Max 7 come out for Apex, and MPK just down to the MP9 as well. Lose this, that could be double eco, and MBS within touching distance of winning the map. Apex, not an ideal place to shotgun. That's like one in Duntown. There's one. Somehow gets 2. That's very good, all things considered. Did not deserve 2 kills in that position, but MBS not using a single flashbang, man. You will be punished for that. Kenny S trying to defend. They've got the advantage. Doesn't have to overcommit to this.
No, absolutely not. Kenny can wait for the angle to fall in his favor. Knowing Kenny, he does like to get aggressive on these and then, I guess, take matters into his own hands, you could say.
Yeah.
But he's willing to be patient for, at least now, the moment. Happy, meanwhile. Wants to get down, drop, gun barrel shows, knows and reads that MBK is there, baits him out, finds the shot, gives them something to work with over toward B, because the bomb is heading that direction. Happy has to follow up to get shocked down, does. He dying to body, reveals the body is on rotation and therefore not inside of the site, gives them confidence to walk directly around the corner and down the stairs as Sixer puts his AWP in prime real estate, if you will, and certainly makes good use of it.
It's not too bad at all there from MBS going back towards the B side. An equal situation as a must-win round there for G2. Just about winning the previous by the skin of their teeth. You can see now they have been fully reset. Apex a little bit of residual cash there, but that's only from the shotgun kills they got in the previous. $900 a piece there. And they will not be forcing it. So the money will be okay next round, but Kenny S will have just over 3K. And that's not a good position to be in. It will be 13-8 after this one with another pretty much forced by situation into the next. Not looking too good for G2 here. NBS in a very comfortable spot. But they have been known to lose to full ecos. That has happened in this game, so we'll see if it happens again here. Round number 6. NBS just trying to slow things down, not give too much up. Make sure you use your flashbangs here. Deploy the utility. It's not worth giving up a round from a P250 Crossfire, which isn't even available. They've only got one upgraded pistol.
Apex. Tight little angle to look through. What are you laughing at? To hold off the bottom of danger. I didn't look in chat to see if anyone told me what a dark horse was. So if you told me what a dark horse was, tell me again.
Okay.
And I won't look this time either. But third's a charm. I promise we'll get there. As Apex, he's going to get there as well. Gets more aggressive. Bit more of a looser angle to play out at the bottom of mid on the T side. Scream was waiting for him, however.
Happy he's feeling a little bit brave here against the pistols. He's heard they're under-equipped, and he'll send himself flying in towards the B bomb site here through the smoke, and he does find the kill, and that's going to hold the rotations at his side as well. Shoxy wanted a knife, but I don't really get a pistol kill over. That's fine. They won't win the round here, but they'll save the AK-47. It's classic Happy gameplay, and getting it done. 2 kills, round 1, gives up an AK. Not the end of the world, but that does actually help out G2 significantly. But they don't save it. I think Shoxy just have to run away and get rid of that weapon and just hide for days. I'm not really sure why he challenges that. You can see how limited the money is once again. If he saves that AK, they're actually in pretty good position here. He can drop an M4 towards Kenny, and they would have been fine. But now they really have got to balance the books here. UMP comes out. Kenny S with just the CZ. They do get 1 kit, because he's only got that pistol, and 3 rifles to work with as well. With the skill potential here of G2, this is certainly a viable round for them, but it's not looking too promising in the initial stages of the round. We'll have to see someone step up here, and they throw a grenade stack towards up a platform, trying to deny a rush. Didn't really find any damage at all. And we have got Scream now making his way towards danger. Not going to get much out of this one. Apex takes him down, and once again, it's envious. I really don't like this approach of no utility whatsoever. They haven't smoked middle there. They haven't flashed in towards danger, just walking in with the contact play, and they just, as soon as one player goes down, that's the cue to strike from the CT side. They know they're focusing towards danger. And they give 2 kills up for nothing. They don't deploy any sort of utility there. Obviously, it's trying to have that surprise factor. They found a bit of wiggle room towards middle, not being spotted, but it can just fall apart. So fragile. They made the first kill.
Well, the first kill certainly does not go to B. Just hold your horses, however, because, and they might be dark horses, because I still have the AWP on Sixer, but it's all that remains. I don't know where I was going with that, because quite clearly this round is going to end. They have money left over, though, more to the point, and that'll give them a chance to buy again. Unfortunately, no kills, and that is confirmed against G2, meaning that therefore they're going to start to build an economy, one of which they did not have as well, so every kill would have mattered in the loss. EnVyUs
need to be more on point with the tactical approach in terms of the way they're just kind of dissecting the map. Just dropping a smoke towards middle would have stopped that play coming through, but nice work by Apex after he gets the AK-47. Shot for the smoke there, and it will be AKs across the board now for Envy. Still with that reset potential. Only one round in the bag so far for G2 Esports, but they do manage to keep, like you said, 5 players alive, so it won't be so detrimental to them, but still very much in this game. Some money now. Kenny all comes out. 2 AKs on the CT side, and this is like execute towards B. Molotov to be deployed any second. Six will deploy the flashes as well, and it's going to be good. Shox is flashed and can't get anything from it. 2 kills for EnVyUs, make it 3. It's almost guaranteed to be their round. RPK is lighting up that scoreboard left, right, and center. Headshots all over the shop, and they will be happy with the wallbang headshot there. That's a really nice round there from EnVyUs. What can you do about that one? And it will be not the harsh reset here. We still got 5k for Kenny S. 4k on 2 players, but MBK embodied down to just the pistols here, potentially UMPs. Really lovely stuff there from EnVyUs. That was almost perfect. I want to see it from RPK's POV if we could. But here it is, the B split working out as we get into round number 9 here. Last chance to over G2 map. UMPs, M4s, almost no nades, Kenny S glass cannon.
And this is why keeping everyone alive in the previous round was valuable, because this could have been a save in itself.
Indeed. Yeah, even one player that's going down would have made things even harder.
Yeah, significantly. But we get ourselves ready, as we so often do, for the worst case scenario on G2's side if they do not win this round. 5 AK-47s. Kenny on the glass cannon.
He is very good at this shot. I've started calling it the Fallen shot because he hits it every single time.
It's true. But Fallen's aptly named because he hits those shots and then falls away.
Yeah. That's another one that always gets me. And he gets the kill and he falls back and it's like, he's called Fallen. Doesn't really work.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not that clever. You think you are, but you're not.
But here we go. Molotov towards the platform, just trying to flush things out. Use the smokes, boys. Use the flashbangs. Everything you've got. Because the CTs, they're clutching at straws here. You need to, here we go, deploy the smokes and just make sure you can all focus on one target, knowing that risks have been eradicated. Round number 9, and potentially a chance to cross the finish line here. Win this round, the game's over in my book. But we'll see against the first frag here. It's MBK, of course, with the UMP as he finds RPK.
Finds it, Happy down inside of the drop. Will do the same. Scream follows up. Sixer's got the entrance. Glass cannon. Better not throw rocks if you live in a glass house. Unfortunately, he's going to have to throw more than just rocks. He's going to have to throw a freaking cannonball. A freaking laser to win back the round. Then a 1 vs 3 retake with an AWP to find match point for the nemesis of G2. I'm going to name it that.
Okay, well, there we go. Let's see if Kenny S trying to save the AWP. I'm not sure he will. Should take this shot all day long. It's happy to drop here, unless it's a no-scope from hell. It's not. Six is going to find the frag. And it will be indeed map point as well. 15-9, and there it is, the harsh reset. That should be game now. I say should with bated breath because it's G2 with pistols and it's EnVyUs from what I've seen so far in their forced by anti-eco approach, whatever you want to call it. Not looking too sharp. But they get a Mac 10. It's happy with 25 frags. Same story for Scream as well. Nice to see the old boys on top of the scoreboard.
Top of the scoreboard, indeed.
Russian B. It's a brave call.
Another bold play, Cotton. Knife from Happy. We got one. Goodbye, body. Get in the bag.
It's quite good.
As NBK goes back in with the UMP, but Happy rounds the corner Mac Daddy style. And Apex is a little late. And unfortunately, it's an increasing radius corner, not decreasing, so he will miss the Apex altogether if he's late.
One player surviving. It's over. The refs called it. Apex trying to do what he can with the AK-47 as we have 5-on-1 clutch if he pulls it off. They can happen in CSGO, but not in this particular scenario. Peppered up through the door. There's another dink as well, down to 6 HP. They know it's done. They'll try and get one more consolation frag, but it will not happen. The first map does go in favor of EnVyUs, believe it or not. They seem to be I've thought in everyone's side online, and they continue their success by taking down G2 here in the first map. And I have to say, G2 looking a little bit quiet there. The economy situation on the T side especially was all a little bit messy for them. Lots of force buys and bombs not going down and rounds being expired, but can't take anything away from EnVyUs. It looked like a solid unit. Everyone stepping up at one particular time. And as we said, Happy and RPK doing a very good job to get top, Scream, sorry, to get top of the scoreboard. And there it is. Another unexpected result for the French boys. And it will be a little bit of analysis coming up, Matthew, I believe.
Another unexpected result. Yes, it is analysis with Alex.